Hey, this is Austin St. John, Jason, the original Red Ranger. You are listening to Airlim.
This video is all about Lord Zedd being in the sequel for the Power Rangers film, and I generally think that'd be a huge mistake. I generally think that would be a huge mistake, and I'm going to explain why. Lord Zedd was scary. That's not because of the reason, by the way. Lord Zedd was one of those bad guys that, to me, represented a change. It was, we need something different. We need new Zords, we need new powers, we need to bring in something because we ran out of footage and we can't really keep using Jew Ranger stuff, so we kind of need to go to Die Ranger. Dean has said quite a bit about how he wants Lord Zedd to be featured as the main villain for the sequel. One kind of thing that he touched on is saying, like, he didn't really want to use Rita, and I'm like, on my previous video on should the Power Rangers be a PG or PG-13, I explained that Dean thought that Rita was too scary for 7-year-olds. Lord Zedd is not one of these characters that is less scarier than Rita. Rita was quite tame. Zedd is something completely different. I generally think that he should be saved from later on. Dean says that Rita was pretty much out of the way. Can you imagine? No, she was floating in space. Does that mean that she is completely dead? There is nothing left for Rita. She can never come back. You know, even Dean says, like, oh, there could be possibilities or something like that. But, as I mentioned in the previous video, if this video is out first, I do think that the people making this now, or Dean, is trying to make this like run faster than ever, where it's only started taking baby steps. So I'm going to read you what Dean has said, and I want to know if you agree or disagree. Well, Lord Zedd is an obvious choice, I think, in a good way. You know, there was a time where we were talking about Lord Zedd being in this movie, and it felt like we didn't have the real estate for it, and I didn't want to dilute our villains. So we kind of went all in on Rita. While Zedd didn't make the cut for the first film, he is almost a shoo-in for the sequel. And so I think definitely it would all be expanding into the next volume. I definitely think have to feature Lord Zedd. I mean, that's not set in stone, but I think it's the next obvious sort of next step to it. Now, I don't know, I'm going to include this just in case, but I don't know if he said this or if this is the end of the quote for comicbook.com. Rita is out of the picture by the movie's end, but the door wasn't completely closed. Whether she is brought back to interact with Zedd remains to be seen, but fans should definitely be excited to see Zedd take the spotlight. No! Why is it that everyone just really wants this all rushed? You know, the film was okay for what it was, but I think there could have been more to it. And having that whole time of Rita being a mummy, being like brought alive, and then suddenly her making Goldar, and then suddenly being sucker punched out, I generally think that she should have landed on the moon and then built her base, or you would have seen like her going like, make my base grow! And that's when the next one. In the second film, she sends down the Green Ranger, blah blah blah, all that stuff that we know that's going to be coming. But to have Lord Zedd come straight away, it feels I think that would be a huge mistake if you put Zedd in the second one. Save him for when you want to introduce the White Ranger. You know, turn around and have in like the films where Zedd makes a monster, it's too strong and the Rangers have to upgrade their powers. The Green Ranger becomes the White Ranger. It just makes so much sense and a way that it should be going rather than just messing up all the time. I really hope that they don't make a version of Spider-Man 3. So in Spider-Man 3, you probably know, and if it's spoilers, but you had Sandman, you had Harry as the Green Goblin, and you had Venom, and everything just was a mismatch of and possibly one of the worst Spider-Man films. It feels like you're putting way too much in on this straight away. The fact is, it shouldn't be. It should be taking its time. I generally think that in the next film, it should be still about the Rangers. Tommy is introduced as a character. He is not the Green Ranger, but he gets the Green Ranger powers at the end, becomes evil, etc, etc. I'm not going to repeat myself because you can just watch other videos that I've talked about this. But because of that, when Rita can't beat monsters, and again you could do a montage, you can say this monster did it, this monster did it, oh no, that's when you bring in Lord Zedd. You didn't have Lord Zedd come in at the second episode of the MMPR, and I know that people are saying like, well, you can't really say that because it's a different universe, and that's true, but they knew how to make a story. They lasted the story out, they made it go on, and then they introduced stuff. They didn't turn around in the second episode and go, Green Ranger, Sixth Ranger, add him in. No, they waited. They built up the Power Rangers and then they added the Green Ranger in. Later on, then, you know, they brought in Lord Zedd because they needed to change the footage. And this is why I can't understand why everyone just wants this to happen so quickly. Rangers have now got another cinematic universe, and this is when you should be building on it, not just rushing it. You'll probably get the same reaction that you will for the second film. The first one did. It's too rushed. It doesn't do this. It hasn't been done right. And you're just running. And I generally think that they should just let it walk. Do I think that Lord Zedd should be in the second film? No. At a push, third film. Maybe fourth or fifth, but definitely not in the sequel, because what was the whole point of having Rita? What was the whole point in her doing stuff, making Goldar? What was the whole point of that if you're just going to retcon it and go, yeah, move on? Have her land on the moon, have her base, have everything with a Goldar that we all know and love, and then bring in Lord Zedd much later on, because that would be the next step. Not, we just want everything because the fans, or we want to, you know, have it. Because I'm guessing the fans pretty much want Lord Zedd, but from a movie stance and for me personally to enjoy, I don't want it to happen straight away. I want it to kind of like happen over time. Just stop rushing the film. So Rangers, what do you think? Do you think that Dean is right that we should have Lord Zedd in the sequel, or do you think that he should be safe much later on when we get the White Ranger? So an introduction to the White Ranger, Lord Zedd is there. What do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments, and if you've liked this video, like, favorite, comment and subscribe. Check out all the other videos on the channel, and as always Rangers, thanks for watching and I'll see you in a bit.